Yo, what's going on, guys? And today I wanted to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder winning the championship and what their off-season preview is going to be. Now, congratulations to them winning a championship. It's time to get into the off-season, though. Literally everything starts in the coming week. So what does that mean? What do they have to look for? So this was a team that came out. They had 68 wins in the regular season. And they were, by and large, the best team in the regular season. Now, SGA is a MVP. They have an all-star, all-NBA player in J-Dub. Obviously, Isaiah Hartenstein, he was a great addition at the center position. And, this offseason, they'll probably draft his eventual successor. But Alex Caruso, who they traded and extended, was huge. So this is a team that by far has the best defense in the league, and they know how to move the needle when they need to. And one of the best things about this squad is that they're set up to be so good for so long. And at the top of the payroll, it's SGA. We all know that. Then it's Isaiah Hartenstein, then Caruso. This offseason, I want to ask you guys, do you think this will be the year we'll see them maybe decide between Kenrich Williams and Isaiah Joe if they stay on the books? Because Aaron Wiggins is making 9.6, Isaiah Joe is making 12.3, Kenrich Williams is making 7.1. So those are basically some mid-range deals on the books. They can keep them. They don't have to move them. But eventually, the immediate problem for the Thunder is the cost of all these players and the limited space. Like, aside from AJ Mitchell and Jalen Williams, J. Will being team options, and then they have the 3 two-way guys who they're going to bring back, they can afford everybody. They just can't have everybody on the team. And then eventually it's going to be where they're going to have to start playing some salary cap gymnastics once Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren also get paid, because then you're going to have to decide, do we keep the Kenrich Williams and Isaiah Joe, or do we just keep an Aaron Wiggins? Do we start drafting to replace those players? So I think that's the biggest thing people need to realize. Those are some of the questions that need to be figured out. So also, what is OKC's draft pick situation looking like? I think that's one thing that people maybe also don't realize. This is a team that's either going to have to start flipping picks so they don't have to draft people, or draft players to eventually replace some of the role players that might be too expensive or might become, better assets to flip and then draft the replacements. This year they have 2 first-round picks, 15 and 24, and they have a second-round pick. Personally, I would try to package 15 and 24 to maybe sneak into the back lottery with, maybe swap 15 and 24 with a team like Atlanta or San Antonio or Portland, and move up in the lottery and get somebody that you want, or trade 24 to a team that doesn't have a pick. I definitely would trade the second round or draft a guy that you would want to stash. Now, I think they should go big man, either Johan Beringer or Beringer. Tell me which way is to say it, but I know it's Johan. And then Thomas Sorber. If they stay at 15, I think Sorber will be there. If they move up, Johan could be there at 15. He could be gone by 15. And then another guy is Asa Newell, is another one that I think people really would like to see there, as both of those guys, or all 3 of those guys, could. I think Derek Queen's another guy. I would love Colin Murray-Boyles to end up there, but I think they want somebody that won't be forced to start and will help them make, allow them to decide where they have to spend the money and figure out the roster spots along the way. But the Thunder have the best way to improve the team, especially with all the draft capital usage that they have. So to me, and then the second round, I would love them to draft like a Jameer Watkins or an older player, that if they do keep that second round pick. But outside of that, what do I think is this whole situation? This team does have access to the full non-taxpayer and the mid-level exception, and the mid-level exception amount, while also having the biannual exception and the second round exception. I mean, we're talking about a team that right now, if you look at their cap situation, they're only guaranteed, or their payroll, if they were to keep everybody on the roster, that as of right now is J. Will, Dylan Jones, AJ Mitchell, Nikola Topic, Kason Wallace, J-Dub, Ousmane Dieng, who I think Ousmane Dieng if there's one player that's definitely not going to be on the roster next year, it's Ousmane Dieng. Kenrich Williams, Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, Chet Holmgren, Alex Caruso, Lou Dort, Isaiah Arnstein, SGA. So right there, that's what, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 guys already on the books. So let's say Ousmane Dieng is gone. Boom, you can draft somebody. And you're still only like at $173 million in committed salary. Now, if there has to be 2 players cut, do you guys think that second player cut is either Isaiah Joe or Kenrich Williams? The only reason I think Isaiah Joe is great and all. I think, seriously, love me some Isaiah Joe. But do you guys think that his skill set's replaceable? Especially if you look at like the playoffs in terms of the players. Isaiah only played 10 minutes a night. I know Kenrich Williams played 8.6, but I felt like they were in certain situations using Kenrich like as a utilitarian type player rather than Isaiah Joe's like a 3-point bomber who just comes in and bombs threes at a high rate, which I feel like you could find a player doing that at cheaper. That's just my thoughts on that one right there. What do you guys agree with that or no? And they have draft picks in every draft, so they kind of need to figure out which, if they are going to keep the draft picks this year, they're obviously Ousmane Dieng or somebody is going to have to be gone. I don't see anybody in free agency really interesting them, and they don't need to do anything in the trade market. So to me, when you look at Chet Holmgren, who obviously he's gonna get paid. Look, yeah, he missed his first NBA season, and the Thunder have only had 114 regular season games and 2 playoff runs in which he basically, I think like he's definitely a guy you need to keep. He's the unicorn, and he's the perfect, like the trio of J-Dub, Chet, and Shai can never be replaced, because I don't think you'll ever get the true value of those 3 players, and you'll never be able to get 3 players of those calibers together. So obviously, what is the maximum value on that extension? I don't know, but the skill set of 15 points, 8 rebounds, 2.2 blocks, 2 assists while shooting almost 38% is great. And obviously, we saw against Jokic and Aaron Gordon, he still has ways to go. But I think the thing with him is that he's going to be someone that you got to keep an eye out for. And Lou Dort has shown good value on that 5-year, $75 million deal. One of the things that they're going to have to start to decide is Chet Holmgren will be rookie extension eligible. So will J-Dub and Ousmane Dieng. That's why Ousmane Dieng's on the way out. However, Lou Dort's going to become extension eligible soon. And you kind of got to figure out, do you pay Lou Dort? Do you flip him? So will Kenrich Williams become extension eligible? Kason Walls will eventually become extension eligible. You're going to have to extend AJ Mitchell or Jay Will, or both of them, as they're going to be entering the final year of their deals. Like Lou Dort, as 3 years has passed, or will have on July 6th, since Dort signed his deal, which means he'll be eligible to sign an extension. And under the most recent CBA veteran extensions on contracts not signed under the rookie salary exception of contracts that were 5 years in length, can be extended as of the 3rd anniversary of their signing, with the added on years able to start at 140% of the salary of the final year of the previous contract. So getting a 140% raise on $17.7 million is going to bring it to 24.8 in 2027 to 2028. And now he would not need that much, but given his lack of, I would say, competitive market, like there aren't a lot of players like Lou Dort. And I know some people are going to be like, well, Lou Dort hasn't developed into the offensive player that people would have wanted him to. I think he picks and chooses his offensive spots. Yes, it's a little inconsistent, but this is also a guy that in 51 games was a 17 point per game scorer. I know that was like a year where the OKC Thunder that season, I think they went like 24 and 58, but like point still stands. So going into this offseason, I think it's just basically figuring out who's like what they do with draft picks and what do they do with these extensions. Like J. Will, I think he's pretty solid. He's a backup center who can stretch the floor and protect the paint. He's the prototype of a really solid backup center who technically isn't strong enough. And if they do sign Williams to a extension, I mean, what is it? $5 million a year? I mean, I would potentially, one of the things they could do this offseason is decline both J. Will and AJ Mitchell's options and then just extend them in free agency to better deals. Keep an eye out for that. But yeah, so let me hear your thoughts. Cheers.